Hello, welcome to another edition of The Science. With me is Ben Dynas. How you doing, Ben?
Just a second.
Nice fire.
It's all right. It's a little clunky if you ask me, but check this out.
Very nice.
On today's call sheet, we're talking about image-based lighting, or IBL, and how it's taking both traditional and virtual production by storm.
Okay, Ben, how would you describe image-based lighting?
Image-based lighting is a 3D rendering technique which involves capturing an omnidirectional representation of real-world light information as an image, typically using a 360-degree camera. This image is then projected onto a dome or sphere analogously to environment mapping, and then this is used to simulate the lighting for the objects in the scene. This allows highly detailed, real-world lighting to be used to light a scene. I got it off Wikipedia. Hats off, Wikipedia. Another way to think of it is lighting with photographs or lighting with moving pictures.
Sounds crazy, but really, if you think about it, we've sort of already been doing that, but in a rudimentary way. So let's take a step back. When we light a subject, what we are capturing is the reflection of the light off the subject. Simple enough, right?
So let's say the subject is someone sitting by a campfire. In the old days, we would have maybe 3 tweenies and run them through hand squeezers or a flicker box or maybe through a lighting console. With those 3 heads, 3 pixels really, we would emulate a fire, a rudimentary 3 tweeny pixel fire.
It's not the best fire, but we got away with it because all we needed was its reflection, and it was the best we could do at the time.
But times change, and now using image-based lighting, we can do this.
Amazing, right? And it even looks like a fire.
Yes, with image-based lighting, the level of realism jumps from our old school 3-pixel effect to, in this case, 120 pixels.
And instead of tungsten through gels, with these double rainbows and the RGBX color engine, you have a color palette of over 1 billion colors along with much better pixel resolution and greater spectrum control to really dial in the color and effect you want. Okay, so fire gags are better, but what's the big deal?
Well, the gag's grown up. Imagine that you could load any environment. Sun dappling through trees, Las Vegas Boulevard, Times Square, traveling through a wormhole, or a raging fire. Whatever images that environment produces, the video, in effect, can be mapped onto the lights for them to emit.
So instead of faking a lighting effect, you actually have a real one.
With IBL, instead of just having a white panel, what you have at your disposal is the ability to recreate any environment's light signature and to use that to light your subject in a hyper-realistic way.
We've loaded Fremont Street into our lights, and whereas before we had a campfire in front of us and a night sky over us, now we have the flashing reflections of the lights in downtown Las Vegas. Above you see the canopy of Fremont Street mapped onto our 8-foot fixtures. And on our medium-sized array of 4-foot double rainbows, we have the red neon sign from the left side of our image. To this side, the people crossing the street is recreated by a larger array, our 8x8, and so on for the rest of these lights.
All the tones, reflections, the subtle movements, color spectrum, anything you see and capture can be rendered through a lighting console to the lights for realistic lighting. And as you can see, the lights are scalable. We have large arrays and small arrays and anywhere in between, all emitting image-based lighting.
Now, this type of lighting may not be as critical if you're shooting on location, but imagine if you could only shoot part of the scene on location and you have to match it in a studio.
Or for reshoots.
Or for just better, more realistic studio work where all that natural ambient light isn't around.
Like we have here in virtual production. That's where this technique really shines. The environment that is projected on the volume wall is the same one being projected by the lights.
So you might ask, why not use volume walls to light subjects? Well, there's a couple of reasons. First, spectrum content. Volume walls emit RGB light designed for viewing, but it's not for transmitting on subjects. So it's not suitable for lighting. The gaps in the RGB LED spectrum can't convey cyan or yellow well. So skin tone saturates red. The Rainbow series fills out these gaps for skin tones so you get reliable, beautiful results.
No more lobster lighting. You have to decide over what instruments you want to transmit the asset, what portion of the asset you will need, and how you will want to use and manipulate it.
That sounds like an intense data management scenario.
There are definitely some things you'll want to consider in advance. For example, which wired data protocol suits your needs, DMX, SACN, ArtNet, how to build your network architecture, typical network considerations, but all with IBL in mind.
Contemporary lighting already so often demands multiple universes of data. So IBL is similar in that regard. Moving from traditional lighting to IBL is not really that big of a leap after all.
Right, it's just mostly the specific demands of converting video signals to light. But that being said, imagine the creative leap it allows. How will it affect the way we look at lighting and the way we use light to help tell stories?
And that's really what it's all about. How to tell the story in the most efficient, most illustrative way. And with the tools and techniques we have at our disposal, those discoveries will no doubt be interesting and exciting.
Creative artists and skilled technicians will utilize these new tools in ways we can't imagine.
I'm sure it will be surprising. Until next time, stay safe.
And we'll see you at Crafty. You're burning it, Tim.
I like the char. Nice fire.
Yeah, it's all right. It's a little clunky if you ask me. Let me just take it down a little bit like this. Huh?